Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Teresa Peters. I'm your language arts mentor with Discern to Learn. And today is Friday, and that means a live. I am, however, on the road, not at my desk, so I can't do a live with you today, but I wanted to prepare something so that I wouldn't disappoint you. So I know that I've promised teaching research skills today. So that's what I'm going to share with you today, but I please would love to hear your comments. So do leave them in the comments. Do shoot me an email. Do message me on Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform you're on. I'm sure I'm on it too. And I would love to answer your questions about research skills. So this is something that many students struggle with. Students come to me all of the time and they are struggling with note-taking, they're struggling with organization skills, how to think through the process. And it just seems like such a big thing. And I'm here to tell you, it is. It is a big thing. It's a very long project, and many students don't see the point, and it just is something that they have difficult pushing through to the very, very end. So you're going to see right away how complicated, or maybe long, not complicated, but many, many steps this process is for writing a research paper. So not only do they have to press through and do a hard thing for a very long time, they have to prepare and they have to plan their time management skills. They have to have motivation over a long period of time. This isn't something you can sit down and just do in a half an hour and have an essay. Things don't work that way when you're writing a research essay. So I want to show you how you too can help your student to succeed at these skills. So first of all, I want to say there are two resources you can find on my website. I'm going to show them to you today and how I use them in class with my students. So you can head on over to discerntolearn.com and you can go on the drop-down menu under shop and choose free resources, or you can just pop in that URL and you will see there a research organizer and an essay outline to edit. So both of these resources are very helpful and I hope that they will help clarify the topic for your student. So first of all, this is why writing a research paper is so hard. It is not just writing a research paper. It is critical thinking. It is time management. It is pushing on through long and arduous tasks that might be overwhelming, emotional, scary, frustrating, and something that they just feel like they have no possibility of winning. So it's a very difficult thing. And there are basically 13 steps to this. And maybe we could like condense it a little bit, but really the writing process is a very long process. So your student reads a book or they read a website even, and they think that someone just sat down and wrote it. And that is just not the case. So first of all, we have to choose a topic, brainstorm ideas, do initial research to see if what I think is true is actually true and if I can actually reasonably prove it. If I have an opinion, it doesn't matter how strongly I feel it. If I'm not able to prove that in an essay, I shouldn't choose it as a topic. Bad idea. And if there's not good evidence or logical proof that I can find in research, then it's possible that I should rethink my topic. The next thing we do is create a working thesis. So we've done just a little bit of research and we say, okay, I think I'm right. So I believe this, and these are maybe my like 5 reasons I think this, and this is what I think the proofs are. So it's just sort of running off what we already know. Then we do a lot more research. We research to find out what are the most important points. We make notes about the facts and where we found those facts. So the organization piece is very difficult for students. Every time we come to a question, we have to research more and find out the answer to that question. This requires diligence that many students just haven't learned yet. They haven't learned to push through. They don't want to ask another question and go find more work to do. So they want it to be done and they don't want to find more work. So they don't want to ask those questions that are really going to make a top level essay. Then they have to research and learn the opposing argument. You have no business writing an essay if you don't know what the other people believe. If you don't know what the other side believes and why, you really are not going to have a good essay. It's very important that you understand the opposing argument, if for no other reason than to combat it. So a very well thought out research paper is going to have a rebuttal paragraph in it where they will talk about the other side might think this, or some people might say this. But if we look at these facts, we can see that this is the case instead. So that's how we do that. Then there's all the organization of ideas and facts. All the sources have to be attached to every fact. Every fact, we have to know exactly where that source came from. I have told my students for years and years, if you don't know where a fact came from, it doesn't exist. It doesn't matter if you read it somewhere. You have to know where it came from. So that is really, really important. Then you do the piece that most students think of as the writing the rough draft. That's when you sit down and actually write. Up till now, we haven't written anything particularly. So we write the rough draft. Then we revise and edit. Then we edit. Then we edit some more. The editing process, the revision and editing process, probably will take pretty much as long as the rest of the process, or at least the rest of the research process. So if your student takes very long at the writing of the rough draft, which I don't believe students should be taking long in the writing of the rough draft, if they have outlined properly, if they have everything laid out, all they have to do is get the words in the paper. The words don't have to be good. They just have to be on the paper. So there's a lot of editing, and then they have to check it against the marking rubric and then hand it in. So that's the writing process. No wonder students are overwhelmed. No wonder they're frustrated. They are struggling with so many skills in this entire process. So it's okay to slow down, to take your time, and to figure it out. That's my encouragement to you. Don't rush it. Don't give your student a week to write a research paper. Give them time. Make sure that they have time. Help them to block off sections of work to do in different time periods. Teach them the skills that they need. Now, we're going to get to the note-taking and the research. And I know that this is why many of you are here today. So first of all, I'm going to pull up my research document and show you what that looks like. So after we have chosen a topic and we have kind of got a working thesis. So we've already chosen a topic. We've already written down all our ideas about what we might know and what we might think. Then we start to do real research. Okay, I'm going to show you what that might look like. So right now, I'm just going to pop on my annotations and I'm just going to write on the side here. So first of all, in our brainstorming, we need to pick a topic. So I'm actually just going to choose a topic that I've used in class before. And my question is, would it be a good idea to eradicate mosquitoes? Okay, I have written this essay with students on both sides, and because some classes want to write it one way and some classes want to write it another way. So, oh, I spelled eradicate wrong. That's no good. Okay, so would it be a good idea to eradicate mosquitoes? Right today, I'm going to say no. So I'm going to say, no, I don't think so. And why do I not think so? I think the ecosystem must need them. God made them for a reason. And I think I heard something about they're pollinators. So lots of things require mosquitoes to pollinate them, and we wouldn't have those things otherwise. And I think whenever we mess with nature, it turns out bad, right? Our experience in the past is that, when we do things, it usually doesn't turn out the way we thought it would. Okay, so that would be kind of my idea. And we're going to assume I've done a little bit of research already on this topic. I'm going to be researching on the screen beside, just so you know why I'm looking back and forth. So that's my initial working thesis, that no, it's a bad idea to eradicate mosquitoes because the ecosystem needs them, they're pollinators, and that whenever we mess with nature, it usually turns out badly because we can't know everything. So you'll see at the top, I have a source list. This first frame here, this first table, is a list of every source I think that I might use, every source that I get facts from. And I'm going to label them. I'm going to label them like A, B, C, D, just as a code, so that when I'm down here and I'm writing my facts, I don't have to have copy and paste and put in the URL every single time. It looks really messy and it's just not as tidy. And then when we go to write, we'll actually just, after we use this fact here, we'll just put that code, but I'll show you that in a minute. So on the side, I'm just going to Google why eradicating mosquitoes is a bad idea. All right, why not? That's a good place to start. Okay, then I see here I have barefoot mosquito. That seems like not a very good source, I'm guessing, right? Because if they're all about mosquitoes, then probably they have like very strong opinions that might be biased. And we have BBC. Well, we could argue about whether the news is biased. Of course, it's biased. Every single person in the world is biased. At least on the mosquito webpage, we know what their bias is, but we're trying to find something a little less biased. The New Scientist. Well, Forbes, Mr. Mosquito Control. Oh, look at that. He's trying to sell me something. Right there. He's trying to sell me killing mosquitoes, right? So that would be a bad source. He thinks that we should eradicate mosquitoes to save thousands of lives. Yeah, but he makes money off of killing mosquitoes, so we don't want to talk to him. Live Science. Let's try Live Science and see what it looks like. One of the first things I look for, and we very rarely see it, is if you go to the very bottom, you will see sources. Oh, look at this. We do actually have sources listed here. Where are their sources going to? Yeah, animal research. Okay, this is a very good site. Okay, so it's always important to teach your students how to find a good site. So I tried to find one that was kind of science. I tried to find one that wasn't selling me something. I tried to find one that didn't look like it was out to protect mosquitoes particularly, right? We don't want people with like obvious, like wide biases. We want someone who's going to try to look at both sides. So this sort of does look at both sides. It says that mosquitoes are central to the spread of malaria and have killed 627,000 people in 2020. So there's other things it does. So it's not just one side, it's both sides of the equation. But before you grab the bug spray, know this. Only about 100 types of mosquitoes spread diseases to humans. That's a really important fact. So, okay, so down here, I'm going to make a topic and I'm going to say, my topic would be mosquitoes do kill people, but it might not be as bad as we think. Okay, so, or anything about those facts would go in there. So I don't want to copy and paste. This is where it's really important to teach our students not to copy and paste because, first of all, they'll have way too much written here so that when they go to write their outline, they're going to be like overwhelmed with all of this stuff. Second of all, they're going to be very tempted to just copy and paste and plug it into their essay when they're rushing at the last minute because they haven't given themselves enough time, which invariably happens. Okay, so we know that we have to put in our own words. And so let me see. Only 100 out of how many? 3,500 types of mosquitoes carry disease. Now, but we do know that 627,000 people died in 2020 from mosquito-borne illness. So these are the kinds of things we do. Now we want to take the URL off our website. So in case you don't know, the URL is this up here. So this is, I make sure I tell my students because they might not know the word. Okay, so it's the website address. And you copy and paste it right here. And then we're going to put an A here. And we're going to put an A here because both of these facts came from there. We're going to go and we're going to find all the facts that might be useful off this website. And I'm not going to do it all right now because we don't have time for that. But that's how you do it. That's how you want to teach your student to do it. Ideally, we're also going to have topics. The ecosystem needs them. And maybe pollinators is the ecosystem needing them. I think so. So maybe that's not good, but you know, when we mess with nature, it goes bad. So we need to find some proofs for that. So let's look and see the ecosystem needs them. Ecosystem needs mosquitoes. Positive effects of mosquitoes, School District 81, Fort Nelson. Well, they might have sources. It's good to go to places that may have actual real sources on their website. Yeah, see, they show their sources at the bottom. If you have a website or a blog that's actually telling you where they got their information, that's really helpful. That shows that they are more legitimate than another website. So we look here and we say mosquitoes are predators or mosquito predators. So what eats mosquitoes? Mosquito larvae are food. Mosquito larvae help the ecosystem by feeding on waste products in the water. Okay, so we're going to add those things here. Mosquito larvae eat waste in water. So it cleans it. And they are food for fish and birds. Okay, so we're going to copy this URL right here. We're going to pop it in right beside the B. We're going to put a B here and a B here. So they just keep on going until they have all the information they might need. So you and I can see how simple this is, right? We could do it so quickly. But this is hard for students. Don't expect them to do it in 20 minutes. It's going to take them time. And I can skim an article, look at the headings, look at a couple bold things, pull out some stuff, and be done with the article. They have to read every word. Most students have to read every word, figure out what it means, synthesize the information, find out what parts are important, and then put that in their own words. This takes time. So give them time, especially the younger they are. I mean, by the time they're like 16, 17, 18, they should be able to do this fairly quickly. But grades like 5, 6, 7, even 8, 9, this might take time. Especially if your student is struggling, don't expect 30 sources. So if it's their first research paper, 2 sources, 3 sources, that's enough. It's just to practice the skill. And then as they get more adept, as they ask more questions, they will get more and more information. Okay, so students all the time want to skip all this. I promise you, this saves you time. And here's why. Because the next thing we do after we have all of our research notes, okay, all organized, because we're not organizing them later. We're not doing a bunch of research and then organizing it and then rewriting it, right? We are just doing it all at the same time, so that saves time. I hate wasting time. Hate wasting time. So here is what the outline looks like. So we're actually just going to take the pieces that we have on our research notes, and we're going to plug them into our outline. I'm going to see if I can make it all fit right here like this. Okay, so we have this here. I have to make this smaller so that we can see it all. Okay, and I'm going to clear my notes so they're not in the way. There we go. I'll make that, okay. So we can see over here, this is the outline document. This is what you're going to get on my website, the essay outline editable. It looks just like this. You're going to make a copy on your own Google Drive, and then you can make as many copies as you want. You can use it, reuse it, go right ahead. So we have our essay outline. Every color is a different paragraph. I like colors. It really helps me to understand how things are working. All right. So it looks like this. And so we look over here. We don't have anything for an introduction here. So we're just going to leave that for now. But the first reason that we believe that mosquitoes should not be eradicated is the ecosystem needs them. So we just type here, the reason I believe this. Mosquitoes are important for the ecosystem. Okay, a fact that proves this. We've already written this in our own words. We can just copy paste. Okay, mosquitoes right here. And it's at B. And then we go down and we copy this and we put it here. Fact that proves this, B. And we put all our facts. We might need more lines. If you do, you just go to the bottom one, you press the tab button, and it'll make a new line just like that. And they can just put another fact and another fact and another fact forever. All right. Some students even like to make another line and then write that paragraph right there. So they see all of the facts and then they write that paragraph in the yellow box. And then when they get to their rough draft, they literally just copy and paste all the paragraphs and put it onto their document. So this is how we make our outline. So you see how making good notes at the time that we do the research in our own words makes doing our outline so easy. And as soon as the outline is completely filled in, then we know what to write in that paragraph. So I might take this, and if it were all filled in, I might write here that mosquitoes are important for the ecosystem and should not be eradicated because without mosquitoes, our water wouldn't be as clean. In fact, I might start that paragraph after when I'm revising. I might say, oh, let's make it more dramatic. So at the beginning, I might say, mosquitoes actually keep our water systems clean. Mosquito larvae eats the waste in the water and is really important for ecosystems in the water for the larvae stage. So I might talk about every single stage of the mosquito's life and why it's important to the ecosystem. It's important as a larvae to clean the water to feed the fish. It's important as a mosquito that's flying around. The males pollinate flowers. I've done a lot of research on mosquitoes lately. The males pollinate flowers and fruit, especially bananas. Okay, bananas are almost entirely pollinated by mosquitoes, it seems. And the females do bite, but there are far less females than there are males. And even though many people do die of sicknesses due to mosquito-borne illnesses, there are relatively few mosquitoes that can actually carry them. And we have protection for that. We can cover up, we can wear bug spray, we can, plant plants that can help to deter mosquitoes. So we can help all of those things in that paragraph. Okay. Now, as an adult, you may look at this and you may say, well, why do I have to copy it into an outline? This over here, after I organize my research, that is my outline. Good eye. This is exactly how I do it. I don't write mine into an outline anymore. But for our students, this is an important step because it adds the introduction, the thesis, and ideally we could even add a conclusion sentence, an introduction sentence. We could add those things if that's something your student is struggling with. So, and when you get to the conclusion, it has a space for the conclusion. So it really helps them to wrap it all up and put all of their ideas together in one place. So that's how we use these tools to teach your students to take excellent notes, to do it in their own words, and to outline an essay. And throughout this process, they're acquiring the ability to work through hard things, to continue pressing on through a long, arduous journey, to do a really big project in individual small pieces, and to push through the discouragement that sometimes comes from doing that and not seeing the results that they want as quickly as they want. Essay writing is the perfect way to teach success mindset because it's such a big job to write an essay. It's such a big job, especially a research essay. So when we teach that alongside success mindset, oh, well, it didn't go very well today. You seem to have gotten distracted online when you were supposed to be researching. Yes. How does that make you feel? How can you change tomorrow so that we don't have this problem again? So you don't have this problem again, so that you can reach your goals. What are your goals? We have to make this the students' goals. This can't be about us. At some point, we have to get our student on board, and motivation has to be something that comes from inside them, not from outside. And that doesn't come from nagging, and it doesn't come from reminding and lists and rewards and punishments. The only thing that can make our students self-motivated is understanding that what they do matters, and it has to matter to them. How does this matter in their dream, in their goals? That's the key. That's the key to turning it all around. So parents, I want to applaud you. You're here today. You're trying to figure this hard thing out. But when was the last time you did this? This is a big project. Maybe you want to tell your student, you know what? In order to teach you, I need to learn how to write. I need to learn to do this writing process. I haven't done it in a really long time, and I need to brush up on it. I'm going to write an essay. Why don't you download these resources? Why don't you make sure that they see you doing research? Make sure they see you actively learning, because if we want to have a learning environment, we really have to be the ones leading that parade. So today, I want to encourage you, if you're struggling, if you feel like this isn't something that you can do, if you feel like you just can't help your student anymore, and I understand that completely, there is no judgment. Some students just will not take it well from their parents. My kids too. They don't want to hear from me. They don't. I can take someone else's kid, and in 1 hour on a Zoom call, I can show them how this all matters, and I can have them excited to learn. And my kids, they hear me start and they just shut down. They don't want to hear it from me. And it's okay. So I want to say, if you are looking for something, if you're looking for support, I would love to talk to you. I have a Level Up Skills in Writing program. I have one for paragraphs, and I have one for essays. The paragraphs works on developing very strong, powerful paragraphs that are persuasive, but also for students that are struggling to know when to end a sentence, what to do about run-on sentences, comma splice errors, and how to just make it a polished sentence, how to fix it up and improve it, use better verbs, use adjectives, and to make that into a really good paragraph. Then I also have the Level Up Essay program. You can learn more about this on discerntolearn.com, of course, or message me directly because I would love to tell you more about this. You want to do this for yourself? You want to use my Level Up program for you? I have a new ebook that is available, 12 weeks to writing confidence, and how I do it and how you can too, because you can absolutely do this. Many people can motivate their own students. And, very honestly, 50% of this course is teaching them self-motivation skills, mindset skills, how to think, how to deal with failure, how to push through hard times, how to be really committed. Those are things that we talk about in every single class. If you think that you can do that with your student, I have the book for you. Even if you think you might not be able to, go ahead and check it out. It's free on my website. You'll see it on the freebies page, or you can search 12 weeks, I think, and it will pop right up and you will be able to download that ebook as well. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for going out, for looking for something for your student, and for doing your very best as a parent to support them on their learning journey, because it really does matter. So I often say, your student doesn't know to thank you, but I'll thank you on their behalf because I know it feels thankless and I know it's difficult. So thank you, parents, for doing your very best and for reaching out. Have a wonderful day.